Hi there. All right. So have your dowel or your tomato paste can on the ready. You have it nearby. We're going to do a little bit of foot stuff today. So I'm just happy about that. Yay. Because it is root day. It is getting grounded. It's getting dirty, getting in the dirt. And let's work with our feet. So the first thing we're going to do is just realize that the feet, the digits of your fingers are, the feet are made with the same amount. Like your thumb has a joint here, like 2 phalanges, and your fingers have 3, like 1, 2, and then 3. And even your little pinky has 3 little joints in there. So 3 little bones. Your big toe has 2 bones. Your other 4 toes have 3 little bones. So let's go ahead and start with the foot. I'm on a chair. You can be on the floor, but for some of you that want to be in a chair, I just want to show that this is an option. So take your big toe and just start by I think you can see okay. Yeah. Just take by that top joint, just hold the bottom knuckle part and just move the toe part, that first joint, just to isolate that joint. And then once you find that, then hold the knuckle below that second bone and then just move that. So you just kind of articulate those 2 bones. You can move in all different directions, in, out, around, down and up, all those different ways your toe bones can move. You can even roll it, sort of roll it back and forth like a do this way if you want to. This way meaning I've got my toe like between my hands as if I have a piece of dough or a Tootsie Roll and I'm just rolling it like shaping clay into a long ribbon. And then move it to that next place. So your one joint, your next joint, the big toe knuckle, and then they've got that long bone on the top of the foot. And just feel that those bones moving into that top bone and have it go all the way into someplace in your ankle and just see what happens when you follow that line of energy and that line of bones from your big toe all the way up into your foot and your ankle. And then place your finger wherever you feel that long bone in your foot kind of go into your ankle. You don't have to be precise. And then just roll your foot around it by I'm pressing my index finger on the top of my foot there, kind of right. If I take my ankle, sort of between the top of my foot and my ankles, holding it there and just rubbing it, rolling it around. Okay, just to find it. And let's do that with each toe. So now moving on to the second toe, just that top little joint, very small. And then the next one, play all those little places. And of course, during this exploration, if anything feels interesting to you and you just want to stay with one particular aspect, because maybe you had a toe that was broken or a bunion or something that gives you, or something that hurts or just doesn't feel like you've ever touched it before, take some more time. I'm going to move through these a little bit more rapidly though. And then after you've done all 3 bones of your second toe, then find that long bone on the top of the foot, where that like little foot web would be. Trace that. If you can find it, can you trace that bone all the way into your ankle on the top? And then once you find it into the ankle somewhere in there, roll that tip of that toe through those toe bones into that foot bone, into your ankle. There's a bunch of bones in your ankle. So then moving on to the next. So let's go a little bit. First toe little bone, all those different directions that can move on its own. And the next bone, and then that knuckle, third bone there. I forgot that one. I didn't do it. 1, 2, and I left that one out. I'm glad I came back. Yay. And then all the way, feel that ribbon of that bone on the top of your foot. If you can find it and keep tracing it. This one's a little bit more hidden for me, so taking a little bit more time for myself to find it, going all the way into the ankle. And then my fingers are on my ankle as I'm sort of rotating my toe, circumduction here, flexion, extension, medial and lateral deviation, moving basically side to side. Okay, then the other 4th toe. My toes are getting smaller, so my bones are getting smaller. Moving it, boop-a-doo, boop-a-doo. Remember, I don't want to forget any little bone here, any joint, all joints getting some acknowledgement, some love. Find that web. Again, this is a little bit more hidden on my foot. Tracing it all the way, the best of my ability, and then rotating it around, having fun with it, as if we're squeezing our mud between our toes. We're just kind of getting in, get some, since I was not asking you to go out and play in the mud, literally, we're kind of doing the same thing, that some of the joy that we get when we play in the mud. I'm onto my pinky toe now, which is very little bitty bones, because I have a small pinky toe. So I have to find them. But instead of asking you to go out and get your feet in some mud and squeeze the mud between your toes, we're kind of doing that same tactile sensation thing, getting our feet, like, we're not squeezing in the mud, but we're just giving it all that sensation. So rolling that. It's easier to find this bone on the outside for me, into the ankle, and my little toe into my ankle. And there we go. That was for the toes. And now I'm going to take my hand, holding onto my ankle bones on the inside and the outside. Then I'm going to take my other hand and place it on my heel. And I'm just going to just move my heel. Can I hold my stabilize my ankle bones, and then just move that heel bone? Okay, just see what that would be if you could just move your heel bone. It's not connected by bone to your ankle. It's underneath your ankle. So can you find how that's a little slidey joint there? It may not move a lot. For some of you, it may be painful, then do a little less, but just see if you can find any movement at all. And now I'm going to take my hands, my thumb is on my inner ankle, move it down right below my inner ankle, and my other hand is mirroring that or matching that on the other side, holding that point right underneath my, kind of underneath my inner ankle, maybe a little bit towards the heel, between my ankle and my heel. And now hold my heel and stabilize my heel and see if I can find that bone somewhere in there. Can I slide that bone? I think that bone is called the talus, T-A-L-U-S. And just, can I slide that around a little bit? And now just on my own time, just roll my ankle around, the whole foot around the ankle, just play what's available, have some fun in there, voila. And then I'm just going to give it a massage a little because I'm right there. Actually, I'm going to wait. And now go ahead and stand. Take a moment and stand and just see, how are your feet? How do your feet feel now standing here? I know you can't see my head, but how are your feet now? Try balancing on one foot and then the other, and see which one feels more rooted, which one feels more into the ground. Yeah, and then take your legs wide, rotate your right foot out, left foot in. We did the right foot, and then just do a couple sliding glides and just notice, how does your front foot feel? That's a nice alliteration. As you're doing that, sliding it down into your warrior two, up to straight legs, and taking your body over into that half triangle pose with at the hips. And just notice, how does that feel different? How do your feet feel? Bring your legs together. Take a moment and feel, what kind of connection do you have to that right side now? Okay, let's do the other side, because I know I want to. I hope you do too. All right. So now go ahead and take my left foot, your left foot, maybe if you did the same foot as me. Starting with the big toe. You don't have to start with the big toe. I just like to. First toe bone, second toe bone at the knuckle, rotating it and rotating the bones in different directions. And then sliding that all the way up into the ankle. Can I find that connection between my toe and my ankle via the foot bone on the top there? What's possible here? And then moving to the next toe, second toe. That first little toe bone. Boop, 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 boop. All these different directions that can move. And second toe bone. And then the third toe bone into the top of the foot, right in there, just the little knuckle place, sliding down, finding that bone all the way into my ankle, and then playing here with the connection between my toe, my foot into my ankle. Yay. And just play. We're playing in the mud, right? So this is fun. Yes, mud pies later if you like. And then go ahead and take your third toe, that top bone. Move it around. Find where that second bone is, and then find where the third bone is. It's interesting, you know, because here's my toe bone and my second bone. Seems like it's right where all the other ones, but that third toe bone goes quite far into my foot there, which is pretty neat. So our toes are actually for me, my toes are way longer than they look. And then slide your hand up the foot bone, finding it into the ankle, playing around, softening that top of the ankle. A lot of us carry a lot of tension in the front of our ankles here, which keeps us from walking in a more fluid manner. Our steps can be perceived in our brain as being hesitant or a little fearful. So if we open this up, we might have a little bit more flow and freedom in our movement. Okay, fourth toe, top bone, top little bone, second little, and then that second bone, boop, 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 boop. And then finding it all the way to that third bone, which goes more deeply into the foot. There. Finding it all the way up. Circling it around into the ankle. Having fun with there, having fun with that. And then let's do the fourth toe. Remember, there's 3 bones in that pinky toe. Again, my pinky toes are really teeny, so I have to be a little bit more patient with myself. One bone, I found it. Second bone, and my third bone is actually quite long compared to my perception of my pinky toe, which feels like it's just a lima bean sometimes. It's a little lima bean on the end of my foot. It's actually more like a lima bean with a little popsicle stick underneath it. All the way into my ankle. Having fun in there. Yay. And now taking my hands on my thumb on my inner ankle, my middle finger or whatever fingers on my outer ankle. With my other hand, my right hand is on my heel bone, stabilizing my ankle and then moving the heel, just seeing, can I find that joint? There's a joint there. It's just not a big lump of bone. It's a joint, and that gives us better balance. It gives us more fluid movement, gives us more options, more articulation, more choices. And then hold the heel bone, move the hands from the ankle down a little bit, enough to see if you can find that talus, and where you can move your hands wherever you want to, but just play around and see what you can explore in this region between your ankle and your heel. Can you find some sort of slide and glide bone in there? And then once you've done playing there, go ahead and now just roll your foot around in your ankle. See all those different places that might be more open, now. Yay. Okay. Great. Let's go ahead and come on. Go ahead and stand. Feel the difference in your feet. And just notice how that feels now. You can take a balance on one foot, a balance on the other foot. Notice now that both feet are done, you have a different sense of your weight And balance, take your legs wide-ish, rotate your left foot out this time, right foot in, and take a few slide and glide. So bend that front, your left knee, straighten, and then slide it on over just to feel how things might have shifted. What's the relationship now in your front and back feet? How does that affect what's happening up the leg, all the way into your sit bones, pubic bone, and pelvic floor? So as my feet open and widen, can I feel my pelvic floor a little bit more resilient? I believe I'm correct in saying they've done studies where when they start to, you work with the feet, it changes things in your pelvic floor. So they are really related. And then go ahead and come back to standing, take a moment and just feel. Pretty great, right? Good. So it's gonna end it here for right now. Feel free to keep going with more practice, or this could just be how you walk out into your world, playing in the mud.